said, much dreaming and many words are meaningless. Therefore, fear God. In other words, he said, talk is cheap, like daydreams and other useless activities. Fear God instead. So in other words, he's saying, don't be getting in front of the church saying something. He said, because see, in this place of repositioning, as you go and do those things and speak things out of your mouth, God said, I'm going to require it of you, and I'm going to be angry at you when you don't fulfill it, because you spoke it in my presence. So you got to understand, I told you in the book of Malachi, the 3rd chapter, it's an angel recording everything we do. So when we daydreaming and I ain't thinking about what God's saying, that angel recording it. And so that's when God say, that's why he said, bring the fear back to the church. Put your hand on yourself, say, I'm the church. I got to bring the fear of God back to the church. So in other words, I can't just be doing stuff just to be doing things, but whatever I say, God said, God want me to do it. The fear of God gonna keep me and make me do it. So if I say I'm going to be here every Sunday at 11 o'clock, I better make it my business to be here, because the fear of God is in me, and that's what's going to hold me accountable. Not Pastor Lisa, because I spoke it to him. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why we got to understand God is looking and listening at what we're saying. Because there's some things that we're going through, it's not because it's the devil, it's because we're being judged by the words we have spoken out of our mouths. I want us to see that. So going back to Genesis 35 and looking at verse 1 again, he said, get ready and move to Bethel and settle there. He said, and build an altar there to God who appeared to you when you fled from your brother. So God said, in other words, I want you to build me an altar when you go back to that place of prayer. In other words, he said, I want you to stay right there. I want you to move right there. In other words, so when you start praying, you go back to that place of prayer, he said, don't move. I want you to continue to do it. I want you to stay in that place of being faithful. He said, because see, when I'm causing divine repositioning, I need you to be in a place where you're positioned in that place that I call you to be in. So in other words, if God said, I'm going to pick you up on Blue Street at 5 o'clock and you're on Red Street at 5 o'clock, then you just miss it. And that's what he's saying. He's saying, so if I'm causing you to go back to that place of prayer where I took you at, that's where you're going to meet me at. He said, but if you don't go back to that place of prayer, that place of worship, that place of communion with me, he said, you ain't going to get the fellowship with me that you need. See, the problem is we want to drive by. In other words, while the spirit high, woo, touch me, Lord. And he's saying, no, just like how I touch you in worship. He said, I want to touch you like that at home. I want to touch you like that when nobody else is around. You still feel the glory cloud comes down. See, he said time is out for us just feeling the glory cloud just at church. We should be able to feel the glory cloud at home. Even while you praying on your way to work, worshiping God, you still should be able to say, wait a minute, I got to pull the car to the side because the glory cloud is upon me. Come on here, because I feel his presence. He said, because see, even when you be in divine alignment with me, I'm going to cause things to line up in your life. And see, this is the place he was taking Jacob back to. See, this is the kind of message where it ain't going to make you jump, it ain't going to make you shout, but it's going to make you look at what you're doing in your life. Because see, too long have we been jumping and shouting and you ain't got nothing. Your emotions got all and we talking, but you don't show nothing. God said, no, I want to give you something to sustain you. So I need you to understand what I'm saying, because these are some instructions he gave me to give you. See, I want you to turn your Bibles to, because when you build the altar at, I want you to turn your Bibles to Revelations, the 2nd chapter. Keep your finger still on Genesis. Because when you look at Revelations, the 2nd chapter, he was talking to the church of Ephesus. Verse 2 say, I know all the things you do. I have seen all your hard work and your patience